Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's a pleasure to rise to speak on the second reading of this Financial Services Providers Pre-Implementation Amendment Bill. Thousands of Kiwis have been affected by about 30 finance company failures in the past 4 years, sir. It led to the loss of confidence in the financial services sector. And this bill seeks to amend the Financial Advisors Act 2008 and Financial Services Providers Act 2008 to give back the confidence to consumers to once again feel secure and to place their trust in the financial services sector, as this sector is vital in raising capital for businesses. And getting ahead as a nation economically could well mean our having to get the confidence of the mums and dad investors back on dry ground once again. And it's not often that I actually agree with the opposition, but it was a pleasure listening to the chair of the Select Committee, Leanne Dalzell, speak earlier, and I agree with her that there were a lot of hard work put into this bill by the Select Committee, and I'd like to acknowledge the chair, Leanne, who just spoke, and the deputy chair, Sam Lotuinga, who has actually made amazing contribution during this process. And for someone like me who doesn't actually come from the finance sector, and often even the acronyms actually meant nothing to me, it was actually bloody hard work, actually, sir. And they made it oops, sorry, my apologies. It was actually amazing learning from them. And even Leanne Dalzell actually admitted that she actually found out more about this bill and the processes and the sector as the chair of the Select Committee than she ever did as the Minister. And I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the Minister for having the foresight to bring this bill to the House to actually see through the passage. And also, like Leanne, I'd like to acknowledge all of the officials because they have actually put in amazing work. As she said, we have actually demanded so much from them, sometimes overnight report-backed timeframes, which has been quite tough on them, I'm sure. And all the clerks and PCOs and everyone who has actually helped us through the process. During the Select Committee process, we have had some major discussions about the shape this bill needed to actually take. But the thing that we always actually came back to and focused on was to always remember that this bill was designed to protect the unsophisticated investors, the mums and dads, the retired grandmother who wants to invest so she has a little something to leave as a legacy for her grandchildren, who really have no idea where to start when it comes to investments. These are the people who lost the money as a result of finance company failures, and quite a lot of money, sir. And they could have really used some really sound financial advice. And this bill actually addresses that issue. There were quite a large volume of things that we considered as a committee in this bill, but one of the things that I found very interesting, and I'm sure we will discuss further when we go into other stages through this bill, but was the definition of financial advice. And because we were looking to protect the unsophisticated investors, we sort of initially got into a point where we wanted to make sure that everything was actually captured. So it got to a point where even a discussion in a taxi on my way to the airport, let's say, headed to Parliament, about thoughts on whether to invest in or out of, let's say, in the housing market, could have been construed as financial advice. That if, as a group of friends sitting around at a dinner table discussing the merits of a financial institution, could also have been deemed a financial advice. So back to the focus of our Select Committee, to protect the unsophisticated investors, but at the same time to provide clarity to the definition so that there is no question as to what financial advice is and who is actually providing the service. So it was very pleasing, and I'm sure there would be quite a lot of people who have actually made amazing and very technical and very detailed submissions to the Select Committee who were concerned they'd be captured by this legislation, that only those people who provide financial advisor services in the ordinary course of their business and those who provide advice in the course of another financial service are the only ones who are actually captured in this. What that means is that advice that is provided incidental to other services, like the taxi driver that I actually mentioned before, are in fact excluded. What else is excluded is the advice on the procedures for acquiring and disposing of financial products will also be excluded. Also, often budgeting services are called financial planning services. So to make sure that there is no confusion, we've actually changed the wording in the bill to investment planning service. And to the other issue which I found very interesting was the need for authorization about, however, if we authorize everyone, the compliance costs and the stress on the sector would be quite phenomenal. And that as a select committee, we considered that there was really no real need for advisors who only work with Category 2 products like mortgages and insurances, who work for a qualified financial entity, a QFE, can actually do this job without the need to be authorized. They can still become authorized financial advisors should they wish to voluntarily. And the best thing about this bill, sir, is that we are giving more power to the Securities Commission. The Commission will now be able to ban people up to 10 years by way of an application to the courts. They have the power to declare that a product of a QFE must only be sold through individually authorized financial advisors. And before an entity is provided with a QFE status, they must demonstrate their capacity to comply with the regime. This means that the Commission doesn't have to vet every single produce a QFE sells, but will allow the Commission to step in under exceptional circumstances when there's trouble. The expanded powers given to the Securities Commission will go a long way to enhance consumer confidence, which has taken a major setback. This will promote more professionalism from the sector, and the serious deficiencies we've actually seen in the financial advisor industry in terms of disclosure, competence and independence will surely improve. Sir, I commend this bill. It is a great bill.
Clear cut.